We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you welcome to Roadwarden, a new indie game that just came out. We're going to play it, see what it's about, and probably read a lot. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people will never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I still have my doubts. I leave the safety of the city walls. I still have my doubts. Oh, okay. No. I leave the safety of the city walls. Please select the difficulty. This choice can't be altered later on. 40-day time limit. Regular rules set. For those familiar with RPGs. Let's go for standard. What do you mean by time limit? Do you mean that the game ends at the same time? The walls is still standing. There are no walls around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you are looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and peddlers, but not beast folk, nor trolls. And the night is near. You palfrey breaths heavily. It had a long day. I can just look another shelter. I need to look around cautiously. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. No, let's dismount and let's peek inside. Your heavy boots hit the ground and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs for comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you will die in combat. I approach the gate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. Two people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They are looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. I need to look around cautiously. They don't look like much of a threat. I can enter. I need to look around cautiously. The people inside the camp didn't even notice the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley. But you are maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it is the only road to north. It doesn't look like much of a threat. I can enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose as she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are wary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. I like them speak first. It's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this god-forsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The barded man's voice is strong, yet timid. You will be staying the night with us, I guess. We are soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her moment switches from half-sleep to relax. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you were to take the first watch, it will be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you need a good sleep. Sure, leave it to me. Fantastic! She rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night's sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up, just yell. He drinks from his mug. I ask them about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase the question. Friendly, whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitude. Playful, distance, intimidating, vulnerable, be sad, tired, afraid, and hopeless. Use a joke or a witty movement. Be supportive and cordial. I was hoping to meet you with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? Oh, okay, I'm sure you're busy, so if you could just introduce me to your lieutenant. I'm looking for your lieutenant. I'd rather speak with someone who's not going to waste my time. I had a long journey. I need to have a word with your lieutenant. I was hoping to be your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambesons, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I. Though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mouth? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirts leaned forward. That explains how you got here in one piece, all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. I check her hand. It may be a try, but I hesitate for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me. I shake her hand. I'm Leto. I'm Eso. Her grasp is confident. She shakes it slightly. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Ah, there's this one issue. The soldier in the shirts also rises to his feet. We have no tent to spare. You will have to use a blanket or something. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Your mount, not your mouth. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle without a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but they won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too will be lost. It's my only companion here. I want to feel it at ease. I don't care about how it feels, but I need to be strong if I want to travel, and I can afford another one. I want it to feel at ease. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck, with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than the shady grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. Okay, fighter. I spend my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. A mage. I have talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a warm gemstone. Or a scholar. I carry writing instrument and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a warm gambeson, and a healing potion. I want to learn more about the 3 classes. As a fighter, you will have an easier time in physical challenges, thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You will be physically more capable than the other classes, what opens unique opportunities during some social interactions. It's the best class for RPG beginners. The fighter weakness is a reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality point drops to 0. The mage uses Pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage, you will be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in a mysterious area, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage powers too freely will result in having no Pneuma left and when you need it the most. The Scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you will be able to read the spars, written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than the other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you will gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. I will take the fighter because it's my first time playing this game. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here, just in case you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, their tinderbox, bandages, and food rations, knife, nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Open inventory to see your possessions. Supplies. They consist of dried meat, crackers, nuts, seeds, fruits, and water, which spoil slowly and don't require additional cooking. Merchandise. A bunch of wheat coins. The city artisans make coin by cutting dragon bones into slices. They are valued by merchants, though rarely used in the countryside. A gambeson. A padded defensive jacket made of linen filled with rags. It is the cheapest type of armor, yet surprisingly effective and as a result, very common. The travel set. Your sacks contain all sorts of useful tools. Weapons. A well-crafted battle axe. Traveling with an axe shows that you have learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters, while having a weapon made of steel makes it clear that you are someone to be reckoned with. A crossbow. Difficult to make and valuable for their usefulness. Crossbows can be used even by an inexperienced traveler, and can pierce most scales and armor. Okay, interesting. What else do we have here? Archive. Oh, I see. No, return. I return to the soldiers. They are at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach rolls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at the previous unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down at Tulia, what she can tell me about this area. I completely know the meal and sit down to speak to her. No, I join them and take a look at the meal. It's called gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hot millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlements stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When they are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak to Tulia. She is focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can't tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We are also strangers in this land, asked her companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? Expect not that much, no soul govern these lands. But in discussion with officials stay between them. Now, I share what I could to be relevant. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you have received, since this area is too far away from Hoblaban to keep it under control. You were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, and monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they are looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on ankle. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she will ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Oh my god, there's a lot of things. What should I know about the peninsula? I will tell you what I know, and you will be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city on a decent palfrey? I'd guess it will be 3-4 days? When you confirm, she continues. From here you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea routes allow Hobland officials to keep in touch with the coastal villagers, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools, but maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there is not that many people living by the shore. And they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, belt of the north, they are happy to trade, and to play dice. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we are the Guardis Road. This camp is our post, and well, he turns toward Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Esok, but are you a devout soul? Like most citizenfolk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. Wow. For many years, I have supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magic research. I follow the teachers of the Order of Truth. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. I have a strong connection to nature and spirits, and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There is no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. I could be a pagan. That sounds cool. I'm a pagan. A pagan Roadwarden? The man scratching his hair without the slightest subtlety. Now, I'm sure we can have a conversation. We are civilized people. The lieutenant clears her throat. I'm from the United Church, but I'm not a priest or anything. I'm definitely not a zealot. An awkward pause. The United Church has spilled the blood of countless pagan tribes, making it clear that who's not with them, it's against them. Your family share gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. Sure, I'm not looking for squabbles. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her fingers. Their traditions will help them negotiate it with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with her index finger, as she points at the invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. In the northwest, you will find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think so. It even has priests who claim to be an eremite. You nod, she means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. I see. You have heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement managed to survive without a city's influence, its customs and tradition grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy the river of fate. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancer, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors of humankind. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? And how about the East? Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mouth? No, were you able to speak with these merchants? You can see why we are not eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they will be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you will get to an inn first, and soon. Tulia nods. Pelt of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep of the guards, ask them about the road. And how about the east? She stares off across the map. Hard to tell, we went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. Any monsters worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mouth? My horse, my beloved horse? It names it Roach. We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblin, trends, cat large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mole-flown eaters, griffons, but we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts, Tulia glanced at her companion. Though a palfret should be fine. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There is not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. That's all I need to know. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. Any idea what happened in the previous Roadwarden? Tulia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up all in near an early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He will sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean his clothes, write notes on that wax table of his. Yep, and leave it down. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but most of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you are not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement, the man carves with passion. We haven't seen him, or his saurian. Something that ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since their hatching, but, unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, says Tulia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterian's stuff. Wait! She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Hoblanavan. I was planning to take all his things there, a punch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions, quite a treasure. She glanced at you, but I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusted off all of the hilt of her sword. We have hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She signs with the resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you have learned about the man, and we will get back to Hoblan together. Hoblaban. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Hoblana in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he will spare you anything, and who knows, you might just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears a mail, uses a spear mostly, maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long, red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glanced at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out to her legs. So find out what happened to him, dead, alive, left, just let me know. I have lost my rope, could you spare me one? You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. Take a closer look. A regular robe made of hemp fibers. Buy. I take it and offer some food in return. Buy for 0. Tulia knows. For now, you leave the robe on the table. What happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Bandits happened. And monsters. A strong bad, though. His companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The very soldier coughs and crosses his arms, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had a nice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road. Saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a trend, another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werewolf tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act though. Didn't tell us that he had got his hand while cleaning his grandson. She lets out a ghastly chuckles. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. You have made this place safer. Barely. Tulia seems tired, and who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. Tulia, how did you become the lieutenant? There is not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city there is a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanged looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess? Hoblaman chief selects commanders, those selects lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, then get replaced by the next soldier in line. So you were his successor? Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slight shot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant, she pauses. And you were the one in line, is that right? Jumping like that to save a man in the middle of an attack doesn't sound like a wise decision. I agree, but so what? He's dead. I doubt he's going to learn much from scolding. And you were the true one in succession, is that right? Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I will get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. What was your squad mission? The lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual, making the road safe, keeping people alive. I explained that it might be important for me to know what they try to accomplish. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it will be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have another question... Anything I should know about this camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There is plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and the southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here where you want, the man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. If you were me, where will you go next? The soldier answers quickly, to the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug, the one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that. You will have the chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how can I make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. It's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I agree, Tulia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face. What makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There is plenty of griffons around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any fruit they can find. And there is this one really loud weirelk that keeps smelling the wall, though it has never tried to get in. He points at the gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrance. They're quite heavy, so if anything comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them a rope instead. He scratched his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. The watchtower? He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here! He points at a pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You will have a great view at the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple of hours sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest. Just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. I smile. Thanks a lot. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm. The sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches. You force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, the three horned deers, trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, not to admit their defeat. I don't let it distract me, I keep looking around. You hear the dead screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a grey hare. A group of muskoxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful scratches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you have had enough, you climb down and go to the tent, waking the bearded man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bags as a pillow, but put my blanket on the pallet and cover myself with my cloak. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but is much welcome rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardering duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiation with Hoblaban officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Hoblaban. There, you will report back to your employer and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. I need to gather some extra coins so I can help a person I care about. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in a prosperous and safely. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I will use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm, a hero. I just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past, and I want to be forgotten. I want to help people. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. You can travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Anxious, though the pleasant, humid late summer air events it's out slowly. You are thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. Sleep. Sleep in a tent. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain. And the ground won't be painfully hard nor cold. Zero that. It will consume one of my thing. And star? What is a star? Sleep. Okay, but this is all the time I have for today. This game is awesome. I really like it. It's an interactive book. I was the Lost Chevalier, signing out. Bye bye.